Objections? Okay, no objections? All right. And Vice President Brown, would you please read 2008-035?
2008-035, resolved to support the Barnstable Municipal Airport's capital improvement plan to construct a new airport terminal. Resolves that were passed around last week by Town Manager Klim. Number 19 will read that in addition to the requirements of condition number 13, the Town Manager shall be afforded the opportunity to be present in person or through a designee during all strategy and negotiations concerning the lease or other disposition of the property referred to as Kmart Plaza.
Second.
Manager and a few of our staff people to find a way to put something together that would include us in the Kmart issue without, and again, if there's any questions, then our counsel can help us, without creating problems with the current lawsuits and everything else. I'm sorry, yes. So this is the best way for us to be able to somehow be involved in the Kmart issue, but it doesn't hold anybody firm. It offers us the opportunity, or the Town Manager the opportunity, to be involved in those discussions. Okay, go ahead.
Call the question. That's correct.
All right, back to the entire resolve now up to 19. Yes. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to ask the Council's indulgence to revisit an issue that we just talked about. Last week, Councilor Milne said that he had concerns about the legitimacy of the statement that we had to have a decision by the 1st of October and asked for written documentation, right? We received that. We get an email from a Robert Welch from the state that says the source of the, and this will answer another question that came up, by the way, but the source of the funding for this project, for the environmental analysis and mitigation and construction of a new passenger terminal, airport apron, automobile parking areas, access roads, and other related improvements of the Barnstable Municipal Airport is found on bond 6006-9980. The amount allocated by MAC for this project is $15 million. Then it gets to Councilor Milne's point. The drop-dead date is exactly as you, meaning Doc Mosby, described, early October. The acceptance date has been 3 October 2007, the date of the MAC meeting and the conference. As we discuss, each delay affects the value of the available funds and the schedule to provide these funds. The Secretary of Transportation and Public Works has stated publicly he supports the project and fully understands the necessity and impact of this most important project. So you received, as all of us did, written documentation that we had to take a vote tonight. Then we receive a series of communiques from the airport questioning some of our conditions with a request that there be a postponement. Then we receive a Tuesday, 25 September email from Mr. Mosby that says the MAC meeting vote has been delayed till November. Even though we'll be ready, that is the position of MAC. That being said, it is suggested that the airport commissioners and staff get together with us once again to talk about the conditions. Our response has been, we don't want any private meetings. We can talk very well right out here in public, right in front of the council. These are either good conditions or bad conditions, and so be it. Now, I need clarification because I thought I heard tonight that yet again that's changed. Now we need a vote tonight.
John, I spoke with, when I got that last communique, I was told it wasn't Mr. Welch calling me, it was one of his staff who had incorrect information. The secretary is coming to the MAMA conference. Initially, one of his staff members by the name of Larry Gallo called and said that they thought that the MAC meeting, they thought that it wouldn't have enough commissioners to form a quorum. But he says, proceed as you are, because if they show up, we're going to conduct business as usual. So to me, and I think I spoke with, in my last email, that's what it was kind of decided. We would proceed in the same manner that we're going forward. So
do we have that in writing?
No.
We don't have it in writing. So we still don't have the original request in writing. My only concern is this. I've been at this for over a year, and it's been a very frustrating process. It appears to me that the rules change depending on what the concerns are. When people were talking about Kmart and several other provisions, all of a sudden, we didn't need to make a vote. We had an extra month to talk about it. Now they've seen the language, and apparently it's all right, and guess what? We've got to take a vote tonight. I've got a serious problem with this. I have a problem with the integrity and the credibility of this entire process. And I think we should find out once and for all what we're being asked to do. And it shouldn't be contingent on whether they like condition A, condition B, or condition C. There's got to be a right answer, a final answer. They either need a vote or they don't. This has changed 3 times.
Madam President, if I might,
Go ahead.
and I don't want to speak out of turn. I have not sent this to MAC. So MAC is not concerned, as far as I know, as of when I spoke to the executive director today. He is not concerned. He understands that all they're looking for is a support. MAC does not, and I don't want to say they don't care. Maybe that's the wrong thing to use. But I would say what the local support that they need, that the secretary needs, is just basic support for this project. MAC is not going to really dictate as to whether we, the commission or the town, live with these 16 or 18 conditions or not. So I'm not quite sure. I was just relaying, which I think is a very good idea. The only thing he said was if MAC doesn't have a quorum for their October meeting, it still doesn't change the conditions.
Okay, and that's what I think that what was made clear was that we're not going to wait any longer, that we've dealt with this long enough, and regardless of what, who's going to be at what meeting, we wanted to get this taken care of. The issue is whether or not what the actual deadline is. And I guess what you're saying is that there was a letter, there was notice from Mr. Welsh that we needed to have this done by a certain time. There was some concern about people in the meeting and whether there would be enough people there, but just in case they have a quorum, we still have to continue.
But that's not what the notification that we received. We received an email on 25 September from Mr. Mosby that says the meeting has been canceled.
And now you're saying that
And at the
that's
same
possible
time,
that
they
it
were
won't.
raising concerns about conditions. Now they've seen the conditions that they were concerned about, and apparently they're all right. And miraculously, we don't have an extra month anymore. I'm just saying, if you want to believe that that's the way things work, then so be it. But,
Point of information, perhaps that could be clarified by Doc, whether or not that's what he meant, canceled, or whether or not there's a quorum. Was that a misprint?
It was. I did not mean that the meeting is canceled. The meeting is still going to go on. The executive director says they might not be able to take any vote on any airport issue simply because of the fact that they weren't sure that they're going to have a quorum. But he says we should come prepared, which we are going to the conference, that if they get a quorum, they will conduct business. But even if they don't conduct business, even if they shift this back to November, which is the next MAC meeting, if the town council president or the town manager says, let's call Mr. Wells tomorrow, and if we need additional time to send him the letter of support, that's fine. That's a call that I can't make.
the only point that I would like to make, Madam President, is that is not what this email says. This email says the MAC meeting has been moved. Not that it might be moved or they might have a quorum problem. This says the MAC meeting has been moved. Not that we won't be ready, but MAC has a problem with their quorum. The meeting has been moved. Now, all of a sudden, the meeting hasn't been moved.